Hello there. I spent my last week as a speaker on DarkPrague conference where I had a workshop on cholesterol. I spoke about addressing your cardiovascular risk while measuring your apolipoprotein B and a lot of other funny, geeky stuff. And workshops aren't recorded by default, so unless you were actually there, you couldn't enjoy the workshop. But unfortunately, I also had another talk at DarkPrague, and this time it was talk, not a workshop, and talks are recorded by default. And my talk was called Travel Like a Biohacker, Enhance Your Internet and Body Anywhere on the Road. I'm not sure if the word was enhance, but it doesn't matter. The thing is, I spoke about how is your internet privacy and your health or your physical body compromised while you're traveling. And yeah, this talk wasn't recorded due to some technical issues. And yeah, no talk on Friday. That time was recorded. So unfortunately, my talk was on Friday, and yeah, the technical issues killed it. But I was very happy because I received a lot of positive feedback either on my workshop and also on my talk. And a lot of people who wanted to attend my talk physically on DarkPrague told me that they were so, sad about the fact they just didn't manage it. So I decided to repeat it, to record it here and now. I will share my presentation with you. And, the talk and the presentation itself were designed for that conference and for a large audience of people. And I don't know how the experience will be when I will just record it here and now, but I will try to keep it as little cringe as possible. So let's go into it. So hello there, you will see me here in this right bottom corner. If I will cover something, I can remove myself to the other side or completely erase this rectangle. But let's present. The name of my talk was Travel Like a Biohacker, Optimize Your Body, Mind and Internet Anywhere in the World. So optimize was the right word that I should use. Yeah, let's start. First of all, I'm not a super tech-savvy guy, some kind of a hacker who will explain all the details about privacy and security you need to handle while traveling, while not traveling, how to code this and that. I'm not this kind of a guy. And neither am I a multi-billionaire biohacker who uses, expensive devices and gadgets that he or she wants to sell you. And hopefully you're old enough to get my Goodfellas reference. I'm practically nobody. I'm just a guy who travels and don't want to end up like this guy. This guy was supposed to be some scoliotically curved guy with morbid obesity who eats whatever he wants, wherever he wants, who connects to whatever Wi-Fi he can. And if you identify yourself with this guy, I don't want to discourage you. You can be better, and the talk is aimed to improve whatever your level of understanding of your health and internet is. And also, the things mentioned in this presentation serve as inspiration, not as a dogma. What does it mean? It simply means that I'm not necessarily using everything that I'm talking about in this presentation all the time. Uh, Maybe I tried some of these things and somehow worked out that they don't fit me for most of the time. I don't want to waste my time with doing such things. Uh, some of the hacks that I provide, I use basically maybe multiple times a day. It's up to you. Just get inspired, don't get stressed. And, this will be easy peasy presentation and talk. So just get inspired and relax. So let's start with traveling and internet, because it can be undoubtedly a big pain in the ass. And yeah, this is uh, mobile internet and calls. Uh, on the very next slide, I'm going to promote eSIMs. Because the thing with eSIMs is that I'm personally a guy from Slovakia, and if I want anonymous eSIM or at least an eSIM that is not tied to my identity, or a SIM card that is not tied to my identity, I need to go to Czechia, or my friend in Czechia um, is supposed to send me a SIM card via, DHL or our local DHLs. uh, and then I will just, you know, plug my SIM card to a mobile phone and use it. Whereas when I use eSIM, I can just buy eSIM with crypto. It is not tied with my identity. And the most important thing about eSIM is that it works everywhere. It's just roaming by default. I can use it in Latin America, in Asia, in Europe, in Africa, wherever I can, whenever I can, and it just simply works. I don't need to fiddle with any physical hardware stuff. And the thing is, when I, look at these common SIM threats, such as identity assignment, SIM swap fraud, etc., there isn't really any solution that eSIM provides. Essentially, eSIM is not more private or more anonymous than physical SIM card. We can kind of debate about the, first three stuff like identity assignments, SIM swap fraud, the ability to remove, clone, or swap the eSIM easily. I guess there are some partial solutions of eSIMs, but in general, certainly when it comes to IMEI or IMSI tracking or autonomous communication between the baseband processor and the SIM card, there is no real benefit while having eSIM in comparison to physical SIM. So this is very important to address. And I use eSIMs, let's say, just for convenience. I usually use MobileMeter or KeepGo. They have their own benefits. I don't want to go into, every single detail about it because I kind of covered this topic in my previous talk on Hacker Congress. But I guess the biggest difference is that KeepGo doesn't expire unless you charge it with the minimum amount of $3 per year. If you charge it with this amount, you can continue using your data the next year. So there are also different providers. You can pick your own favorite. I use these two. And also, I don't use a mobile phone number. Just, I don't have a reason to use it. I just use encrypted messengers. But sometimes I still have to interact with boomers. So I kind of solved this problem with having a physical SIM card tucked away in a GSM gateway and I'm using voice over IP protocol with my Zoiper client for receiving calls, or SMS forwarding to my Proton Mail to receive for receiving SMS. The thing is, you could also do this VoIP with Skype, but this year Skype kind of withdrew from this beautiful solution and service. So I guess the only option is using a client such as Zoiper. There are also some open source clients that you can use, like Linphone, etc. But I use this one. And why do I like this setup? Because, as I said, I need to have my phone number for boomers, but at the same time, I don't want the GSM operators to know my physical location. So that's they just know the gateway's location, and the gateway doesn't move. So I also use airplane mode forever because, it disables cellular network, Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, GPS, unless you manually enable some of these. I disable Bluetooth only when I want to connect to mobile data. And that's a simple solution. Airplane mode also saves your battery life, and if you're in a mood of putting on a tinfoil hat on your head, it can also save your mitochondria. Yeah. So the other very cool hack is VPN. I use VPN for basically all of my internet traffic. All my traffic is routed through VPN. And unfortunately, my VoIP client doesn't work without VPN because when someone, or if I try to, or even anyone else try to make a call to me, the GSM operator just, kills the call because the operators see that I'm using a client and they don't like it. But when I turn on Swiss VPN, everything magically works. I use Proton or Mullvad, but this is just my personal solution. I wrote a blog in which I'm describing what VPN to choose, and I use different metrics for choosing the right one, but this is not some kind of dogma. You can use whatever you like. And also, a very cool hack is Turkish VPN. And why? That's because a lot of services have different prices for different countries. And the thing is that things for Turkish market are surprisingly cheap in many ways and in case of many services. So, for example, I have my Duolingo yearly subscription for less than $20 a year due to using a Turkish VPN. So this is a very cool hack. I recommend trying it out while you are trying to pay basically anything. The thing is VPN sufficient? Well, when you use data through a SIM card, both IMEI and IMSI tie all your network activity and associate it with you. Whatever you are, if it's your identity, your device, your identifiers, whatever. However, public Wi-Fi networks often do not require an account linked to your identity. They usually track your MAC address, which can be easily randomized in most of modern devices. So remember this. And the second issue is that VPNs also use their own DNS. And it's not an issue, it's kind of cool, right? But these DNS do not block malicious ads and trackers, they are just plain resolvers. And so this is an issue of sufficiency of VPN. And we should certainly do something about it, right? So, my solution is DNS sinkhole, and the most fabulous network-wide ad blocker and tracker filter is called AdGuard Home, which can be self-hosted, and it can block these malicious ads that VPN's DNS doesn't block. If you don't want to set up AdGuard Home from scratch, you can just try Next DNS experiment. You can connect AdGuard's blocking list to Next DNS and just see how functionable is your internet if you are willing to, handle it, to fiddle with it, etc. And for most of people, even for me, it's not that, not that practical. The problem with DNS sinkhole is that it is designed for your home network. Why is it a problem? Because we want to travel. This talk is about traveling. So what can we do with it? This is AdGuard Home and Pi-hole. AdGuard Home is just some kind of Pi-hole with better UI, if you are familiar with Pi-hole. Yeah, I'm thinking about turning myself off. I'll see how this rectangle will, annoy me. But sorry. What to use if we are traveling? Well, we need to set up a dynamic DNS, DDNS, that gives me a consistent domain name for my home server, even if my public IP address changes. And also, we should set up VPN on our home network. We can use protocols such as OpenVPN or WireGuard, and also DNS over HTTPS is necessity. Okay, I'm gonna turn myself off. You don't need to see me. I cannot minimize myself more, so... Or I can do this. Maybe. Sorry for interrupting this. Also, the other cool feature or gadget that we can use while traveling is portable hotspot. But what is the meaning of hotspot when, when anyone can track the SIM card itself? I just put a SIM card to a hotspot and I'm saved. Why? Well, I'm not saved, but it is my hotspot's baseband processor that talks to the cell network. And what do I use a hotspot for? I use it only for the purpose of connecting to the internet. Whereas I use my mobile phone for basically everything. I have my bank account there, I have my photos there, I have my crypto wallet there, I have my, OnlyFans account there, whatever you have there, it's on your mobile phone. Whereas you use your hotspot only and solely for the purpose of connecting to the internet. And also, there are some portable hotspots that can change your IMEI. But you should always check your legislation first, because I don't recommend you to do it. It's illegal in many countries, and you can go to jail for it. So don't do that. But if you want to do that, I recommend this portable hotspot. It's Moody GLE750V2. It has a lot of funny features, such as supporting Ethernet to LAN. It's also a power bank. It supports different eSIMs, which is very cool because you need to... the thing with portable hotspot is that if you stuck a SIM card in it, you can't just connect to the internet. you need to work on it. You need to set up APN, this protocol, that protocol, and it can be a real pain in the ass sometimes. And yeah, this router is completely open source. It runs OpenWTR, or OpenWRT, sorry. And the most important thing is that it can't change IMEI by default. You need to install Blue Merle package that is freely available on GitHub, and it's really a straightforward process. So, what about other hacks that I use for digital life? I use these cables, that's very simple. Also, the power charger that can charge my phone very quickly, or my notebook, whatever. And I use this little mobile phone into which I can stack multiple SIM cards if I need a physical SIM card for some reason. And now, what about traveling and health? Let's start with airplanes, because airplanes can be very exhausting. Traveling in airplanes can cause you a lot of problems, and everyone who flew on a long-haul flight knows what I'm talking about. This is the most ridiculous, most effective travel clothes solution for tall people. I know what I'm talking about because I just tried, and this works. This just works. If you are tall, I'm not as tall as this guy, but I'm personally not using it a lot on long-haul flights because the airplanes on these flights have better seats. But for example, when I flew with Ryanair from Vienna to Madrid, it was like, I guess, more than 3-hour flight or something. This was very helpful because I cannot just put my head safely and on the back of the seat, and this saves my spine, and that's the only way how you can rest. So you can choose, or you can buy basically any color that is accessible to you, but it should be a color that is, not very soft. It should kind of hold your head in a stable position. I also use this mushroom. It's called auricularia. And this mushroom thins your blood. It's a blood thinner, so it's a very good solution if you want to prevent some thrombosis. I know it's not as effective as, let's say, aspirin, but it's kind of a natural remedy that helps your blood flowing in your veins while you're traveling. And it's a good, additional hack to, let's say, compression socks or the stuff that you usually wear on airplanes. And what does this airplane and this airplane and this airplane have in common? So this is Boeing 787, Airbus A350, and Airbus 220. I actually never saw this one, A220. Well, they have this in common, and also this in common. I guess this study is less valid than this study because this study is funded by Boeing. And the thing is that standard planes are made from mostly aluminium or some other metals. And if you're flying with these planes, you usually get sick after a long haul flight because the air pressure and the air quality in the cabin is just terrible. And it's not terrible by accident, it's terrible because you can't put there as much air into an airplane because, the metal will expand after some threshold amount of pressure. But these airplanes these airplanes are made from composite. And that means you can put there a lot more air inside because the composite doesn't expand. So this is why there are these studies. People report much less side effects related to, let's say, 8-hour flights or long haul flights. They don't experience, dizziness, headache, burning sensation of the eyes, or whatever. There are studies for this. There are also lots and lots and lots of anecdotal reports. I can say for myself that flying with Boeing 787 is much more pleasant experience than, let's say, 777. And there are also other factors contributed to it other than just the cabin pressure. There is different humidity in those composite planes, etc. But this is the most important agent. And also this, sorry, I'm so stupid. 787 has also a unique feature, which is it sucks in the air through uh, some specialized compartments and not through the engines. Whereas most of the planes, including these, suck in the air through engines. So I guess the air quality in 787 is better compared to other airplanes. And yeah, I will minimize myself because I'm fed up with it. So this is Ca2 regulation or calcium regulation in mitochondria and stress. And what does it have to do with traveling? Well, the thing is, when you're traveling, when you're stressed, when you are in the environment where the air quality is very, very bad, there is a lot of EMF radiation or excess blue light, it increases the cytosolic calcium. And there are so-called VGCCs, voltage-gated calcium channels, in your cells that allow calcium influx into cytoplasm. And it just increases neuronal and muscular excitability. Calcium in a cell is necessary for releasing the glutamate, main excitatory neurotransmitter. And that's partially a reason why you can get irritated and very, you can have unpleasant feelings while you are traveling. And also, there are MCUs, or MCU, a mitochondrial calcium uniporter, uh, and that's and it is controlling calcium entry into mitochondria, and it is supporting ATP production. And when you have excess calcium in your mitochondria, MPTP, mitochondrial permeability transition pore, opens, and the membrane potential will be lost, resulting in increase of reactive oxygen species and potential apoptosis. So not only you will be very irritable, but also this will damage your mitochondria. So how to protect your mitochondria and your nervous system? You can block VGCCs or modulate the calcium influx, and there are drugs that can do that, and that target some specific organ, for example your heart. I certainly not recommend to do this. You need to do this systemically or within your nervous system. And the very good helper in this dimension is magnesium. And also kava. Kava Kava is a plant used in South Pacific, and we measured that it can, block calcium channels, but there is not enough data to prove that it is that effective that we can feel some kind of relief while traveling, or it can help to prevent some mitochondrial damage. But anecdotally, kava kava is very helpful with travelers exhaustion. It kind of calms your central nervous system and reduces your fatigue, etc. But this is just anecdotal. I want to address this. I also want to mention, this is Kava Kava. I want to mention a bit more about this plant because I think this plant is just amazing. I already made a video about Kava Kava, how does it work, all about neurochemistry and other things. But we need to what is the most important thing about kava kava? Well, we need to know that kava kava is GABAergic, but not in the same way as benzodiazepines or alcohol or mucimol and Amanita muscaria is. It doesn't bind to GABA receptor. It binds to a GABA receptor site, resulting in the chloride channels being opened for the longer period of time, and due to that, the receptor will respond more to GABA itself. And yeah, due to that, you can be very chilled if you drink kava kava before your flight, whatever. You can do basically anything you want to do. You can hop on a metro, hop on an airplane, hop off, and be very happy and chilled and feel joyful. So I love Kava Kava not just for this purpose, but also for the purpose of having more GABA itself in my brain, because Kava Kava is anti-addictive. The more you drink it, the more GABA receptors, more GABA you have. And now, what about day, night, and circadian rhythm? There are a lot of studies and claims on blue light, especially 460 to 480 nanometers. And the best scientific consensus is that blue light suppresses melatonin production. So let's dig into melatonin production. And I want to have a healthy circadian rhythm, so I use blue light blockers everywhere where I can before I want to sleep, and there is enough blue light that can disrupt my sleep, and which is, be honest, everywhere. But also I use other gimmicks than blue light blockers. These are blue light blockers that I use. They're very cheap and well measured. I bought very expensive ones one time, but yeah, I lost them. So since then, I just buy these. And I use this. What is that? It's duct tape. And why do I use that? Well, I can just do these hacks. For example, this is air condition, and I just glued the duct tape on the air condition, and suddenly there was no blue light anymore, and my sleep and circadian rhythm was saved. So this is a very cool hack. And also I use this hanger. I don't collect it with me, but when there are curtains on my apartment, in a hotel, wherever, and there is blue light peeking through the curtains, I can just use these clippers and clip the corners of the curtains together so there is no more blue light emitting through it. And this is a very simple and primitive hack, but it just works and it's amazing. What about sleeping pills? Well, I don't use sleeping pills. I use like sleeping pills, quote unquote. I use magnesium. I prefer L-threonate or bisglycinate because they have the, you know, very good properties when it comes to crossing the blood-brain barrier. And yeah, there are some other herbs or remedies such as ashwagandha and reishi that helps a lot with cortisol. You can also use GABA, L-theanine, 5-HTP for direct inhibition. L-theanine is not the direct, but GABA and 5-HTP certainly is. I don't really like to play with neurotransmitters, especially 5-HTP, because it is a serotonin precursor. If you do, I don't know, let's say 60 milligrams of 5-HTP, you can have a good serotonin boost. If you do 120, it is a dose that is high enough to help you synthesize melatonin and it puts you into sleep. But I just don't like to play with this, and always be mindful about side effects. Because, for example, let's say ashwagandha, it's a well-studied herb. It's totally, safe. Thousands and thousands of people used it, or millions of people use it. But for me, when I take it regularly, I just cannot shit, or I will shit, like multiple times a day, and it's really inconvenient, or piss multiple times a day. It really disrupts my hormones. So I never take it regularly. I take it just as a sleeping pill in case of emergency. For example, if I cannot really put myself into sleep. A few weeks ago, I started running at 9 p.m. for some reason, and I couldn't sleep because my cortisol was high, so I took ashwagandha, and suddenly the problem was solved. So I also don't use caffeine at all. This is just my personal choice. Maybe for you it's not that helpful, but caffeine has really no use in my body, and there are some data that are supporting that. For example, yeah, there's supposed to be written 11:30 a.m. This is the mistake that I made with my Whoop. But I did 5 servings of caffeine, and these are not 5 servings, these are only 5 grams of Swiss water processed decaf coffee. And yeah, it completely fucked up my sleep. These are just data, but I also felt very unrested. And I just don't need the sense of stimulation. Even if my sleep was okay, I don't like the effects of coffee, tea, cacao, mate, anything with caffeine or theobromine. It's just completely useless for me. And when I have enough sleep, I don't need to push myself with anything, anywhere. And what do I take with myself if I have more space in my backpack? Uh, I take collagen peptides because I'm already 23, so I've lost 3% of my collagen in my skin. Since your 20s, you're starting to lose approximately 1% a year, so take care of your skin. Also, I use glycine. Um, Glycine is non-essential, but most of us are deficient in glycine, and there are pretty promising studies on high methionine levels that are linked to shorter lifespan. We can measure these things in mice because humans just live for too long. But there are some markers measured in humans that are linked to shorter lifespan, some cardiovascular, metabolic markers, etc. But the thing is, it's not a problem of high methionine. The problem is actually about the ratio of methionine to glycine. And you need to have the proper ratio to to not to shorten your life. So you make your own glycine. You make approximately 3 grams a day, but these 3 grams are used for collagen turnover in your body. So if you take additional 3 grams or more, you can just benefit from it. Uh, that's my opinion. And the glycine is also GABAergic. So if you drink it, if you put it into your tea before sleep, it's really helpful. It promotes good and rested sleep. I also take travel yoga, man. Just why not? I love yoga. And what about other hacks? Well, my hack number one is learn the culture and find something local. Why? Because, let's say, this is a Guduchi herb. I got COVID in India this year, and I have had some fever, so I took paracetamol, but I was obsessed with the disease and I wanted to fight it as much as I could. So I went to a local pharmacy and asked them about, some antiviral drugs or herbs, and they told me about Guduchi. And so I looked up, I Googled, I used AI, I asked, what is Guduchi? What is it good for? And I realized that this is a very great antiviral herb that was used in India during COVID pandemic, and there are lots of studies on it, and it can be very effective. It stimulates macrophages to increase phagocytosis and produce, reactive oxygen species and nitric oxide for the destruction of pathogen. It also boosts cytokine production, such as interferons, so tumor necrosis factor alpha, to activate B and T cells. It also inhibits viral replication, not surprisingly. It has tons and tons of benefits. So this is a herb to go if you're sick. And I also got sick in Greece. And Andreas Antonopoulos, on one of the previous hacker congresses, introduced me to this herb. It's called Tsaitovonu, or Greek mountain tea, or Sideritis malotira. I also made a video on this plant. It's very good as a cold remedy, one of my most favorite herbs on earth. And it's not just good for cold, but it has some promising, cognitive function enhancing properties. It increases blood flow in your brain. It can reduce beta amyloid plaque, prevents the demyelination of axons. It's like totally crazy herb. And I just recommend it to drink it daily. I drink it daily as well. And yeah, what about health trackers? This is, Apple Watch, Aura, Whoop. Uh, all are great. I used the Aura for 2 years, then I had 2 years of break with from all the health trackers. And these are some of my data from Whoop. It measures my sleep, my workouts, the zones in my workouts. And the HRV metrics in Whoop and Aura especially are very accurate. So I guess this metric is kind of good to track while you are traveling. And if you are not sure what health tracker to buy and you want to measure as accurately as possible, I recommend this YouTube channel. Its name is The Quantified Scientist. And it's a scientific guy who makes really rigorous measurements on different health trackers, even the very cheap ones, and he compares it to scientific devices, EEGs, um, EKGs, etc. And he's comparing it, doing some calculations, graphs, and Yeah, I just recommend this guy. This guy is very good. I also use rubber bands and exercise balls. Not just all of these because I would get kicked out of airplane, but traveling is just sitting and sitting and more sitting in airplane, sitting in the bus, waiting for bus, waiting for this and that, and I can just exercise with them wherever, whenever I can. And I also use some massage balls because they are very light and they don't weigh too much, and I can travel with them anywhere I can. I also use other physio stuff and gimmicks, such as this bottle. Not this bottle from Swedish Posture. I use something similar. It's also a thermal bottle and also a massage roller. But I use this Swedish Posture backpack, and it's a really cool enhancement of your body posture because it moves the center of your gravity. It moves the weight of the backpack to the center of your gravity and not on your shoulders. So, this is a very great backpack and a cheap backpack, actually. I recommend it. I also use Saccharomyces boulardii. You can also use other probiotics, but I use these because there are a lot of studies on these probiotics being helpful with travelers' diarrhea. When Europeans took it 2 weeks before entering India, they didn't experience travelers' diarrhea, or at least they experienced the diarrhea on a much less severe level. So these are very helpful. And my last hack is meditation. And why meditation? Well, because I don't know. Uh, the traveling is just a lot of stress, and life can be a lot of stress. And what for? There isn't a lot of essence in life to be stressed about. And you can also use kava kava if you want to be relaxed, if you want to be more chilled while traveling. But you need to drink it, you need to buy it, you need to prepare it. And meditation is zero cost hack. You just do it and do it every day. And it's also zero opportunity cost hack. Why? Because there is really nothing better to do than this. So do it and meditate.
So that was the conclusion of my talk. I know that this was not the quality of this wasn't that high as the quality of talk, or at least I hope so that that my talk was a bit better at least. And I know that this was very chaotic and very and professional. But I hope you found some interesting and useful info. And yeah, so thank you for your voluntary attention and have a nice day. Goodbye.